Now joined by Gary Waterman, the head coach of St. Francis Xavier University. Gary, welcome to Crown Countdown U.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jim. Pleasure to be on.
Gary, let's first of all talk about a big addition to your coaching staff. Jim Daly, a former longtime CFL assistant coordinator and head coach, has come on board as the special teams coach. Something tells me he's going to add more than just coaching the special teams.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's really exciting for our program, and to have a guy with that kind of knowledge just around our staff and our players. He's been a head coach at all levels, and he's been a D coordinator and a special teams coach. And you've said it right on. And I mean, special teams is what he'll do, but it's not just that's not the only value he'll add this season. We expect to get a lot of value out of this pickup. And Jim's a fantastic guy. We've been conferencing and meeting quite a bit now, and I've really got a chance to know him, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Every coach has to go through losses in terms of staff on their roster. You got some big ones. Jordan Catterall, Ron O'Mara, who's now wearing the Hamilton Tiger Cat stripes. You can't necessarily replace these guys, but obviously there's a plan for succession there. Who do you see stepping up into those roles on your offensive and defensive side?
Well, you said it right. I mean, they're very, very difficult to replace. Guys impacting our program for quite some time now, and we're going to miss them dearly. But you know, this is the way this game works. You have to kind of be thinking ahead as you move forward, knowing you're going to lose guys eventually, and we'd like to keep them all the time if we could, but we're going to lose them, and we know that. So we're thinking ahead, and we've got a couple of young guys we think that are going to be ready to step up and play a significant role in our team this year. And also, we've done some recruiting in some areas to kind of, you know, you're never going to kind of make up the full amount for one guy, but you know, 2 or 3 guys we think can add value and maybe get close to what those guys brought to the table.
Yeah, let's talk about recruiting for a bit. You know, geographically, it helps teams in the OUA to recruit simply based upon where they are and how they can reach, and in some cases, what their budget is. Out in the AUS, you've got some challenges being perched out there on the East Coast. What is your approach to recruiting? Do you spread the net wide? Do you use social media? Do you get on the plane? Do you make trips? How does it work for you guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, those are all great points and questions, really, because we do have some challenges, you know, being so geographically far away from an airport, one, and two, just you know, from across the country. But you know, we've got a lot of strengths to our university, and one of them is alumni connection and network, and that's a huge part of our recruiting. We have a lot of people out there who had a lot of passion for StFX and X-Men football, and really they do some tremendous work in getting in contact with us and keeping in contact with us, and we really utilize the network. And of course, social media is really, you know, it's what the kids know today. And we're on all forms of social media. You know, our staff is constantly, you know, between texting and Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter, and the list goes on. Really, all of those mediums we're trying to hit and really try to get our brand out there. A lot of it is just making sure that people know where we are and what we're about and what we stand for, and then from there, you know, just build relationships. And so, you know, there's some challenges, but you know, we're not going to use that as an excuse. We're excited about it. We use all the forms. We use our network, and you know, that's what this is about.
You know, when I was talking with Chris Bertoya about a month and a half ago when he was out here in BC, he said he was going out to the Atlantic Football League to take a look at recruits. How is that, having a league like that in your own backyard, a valuable asset? And just where is the development for those players in respect to, say, something like a CJFL or an OFC?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, if you compare to where it is now, you know, to, well, let's say 5-6 years ago, it's night and day. I mean, there's been so much work done in coaching development and the coaches' commitment and player development. I mean, right now, Atlantic Canada is producing some quality football players that are you know, having options to go anywhere they want, quite frankly, in the country, and that's a good thing. And it's really improved the brand out here. It's helped us in our recruitment. You know. Identifying guys, and guys are a lot further along than they've been, you know, let's say 5-6 years ago. So it is great for the Maritimes region. It's great for our school to have quality players in our backyard. that we can kind of recruit, and of course it saves costs and travel and all that kind of stuff. But it's been going real well, and more teams are starting to find out about the great secret of maritime football kids, and they're coming out to recruit here.
Numbers don't tell the whole story, but if you go through the national statistics and you compare offensive numbers and defensive numbers, you can take a look at the AUS and say, wow, that's a dominant conference defensively, or geez, offensively, they're really not on track. What is the case? Is it that the offenses have a lot of catching up to do, or the defenses are that good? Or is it a little from column A and a little from column B?
I would say it's probably a little bit of column A, column B. I mean, as anything goes in football, I mean, it starts with the quarterback position, and we've had a lot of younger quarterbacks over the last several years playing for each team. I think that's been a huge factor. As they continue to develop, I think you'll see more progress on the offensive side of the ball. And of course, we do have some outstanding defensive players in our conference. We had the rating defensive player of the year from our conference in Jay Langa, and we've had tremendous amount of other kids that are now in the CFL. So there's a lot of talent from a defensive perspective. But I think there's the things that teams are doing are sound offensively in our conference. It's the young quarterback play. I think as they develop, you'll start to see more offensive play. Production, sorry.
Do you have a group of quarterbacks now that are a year older and a year smarter across your conference? And specifically to your team, is Tavon Cook ready to take the next step?
Well, I think from a conference perspective, I think each team's quarterback is going to be a year older, and I think that's going to help on the offensive side of the ball. I think from our own team perspective, Tavon's had a great start to his career, and he's starting to kind of coming to the latter part of it, and he's starting to see some things well and do well. But we've got some young guys, and one in Dante Jan, who was with the Calgary Stampeders at the CIS East West Development internship. And he's going to be pushed hard, and I think those guys are going to be in a huge battle, and we're excited to see where it goes, because we feel like we got two good up-and-coming quarterbacks that are going to be competing real hard to make a difference.
Finally, what were your takeaways from the meeting with the CIS task force, where all of the coaches and all of the ADs got together in Ottawa?
Well, I think it was a great event. I mean, of course, when you have these things, everyone expects instant results, and just because you meet, things are done immediately. And often these things take time. I think the first step is getting us to the table and having all the head coaches and athletic directors in one spot and having items on the agenda and things to be openly discussed. I think that was a tremendous thing. It hasn't been done before, and so I think there was a lot of takeaways from just getting that process, saying sending the message out that this is an important product that we have. It's a great brand. I think the CIS football is an amazing product, and it speaks volumes to have the ADs there and everyone to really discuss the issues. And we all want the same thing. We want to have a healthy, productive CIS football product. We want to have a product that we all can be proud of, and the fans are supporting.
Gary, thanks very much for this. Thanks for taking the time, and best of luck coming up here in 2015.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it.